Anytime you come across a life-changing advice, all you do is save and tell yourself, you know what, I'll do this later. But later never comes. You've turned your bookmark into a graveyard where you bury all your ideas and your opportunities. But let's break that loop today. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at this post on X and how we can transform it into a system that will guide our path in 2026. Hi, my name is Anane, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. Thank you. So this post is from Michael, and he says, instead of wasting another year, do this. So first of all, he says, decide what you're actually chasing. You need to ask yourself, what do I want for 2026? Or what do I need to achieve in 2026? There are some of us, it is difficult for us to come up with what we want to achieve in 2026. So this will help us. We can use the law of inversion and say, what do I hate? Maybe you hate waking up early in the morning. Maybe you hate asking people permissions to do things, like you're in the office and you have to ask your boss for permission. That's a cue. So once you identify the things you hate, you can drop the things that you want to do out of that. So if you do not want to be under a boss, maybe you want to start a business and own it yourself. Maybe. If you hate waking up early in the morning, maybe you can think of getting a remote job. So you can add it as the things that you want to achieve in 2026, getting a remote job where you wake up in the morning and, yeah. So that is it. Decide what you're actually chasing. Number 2, he says, stop waiting to feel ready. This is a big problem, especially for those in the tech field. I know it's in other fields, but because I'm already in the tech field, I can speak to that more. Mostly, it brands itself as the imposter syndrome, where you feel like you do not know, and so you are always in your shelf and, but you don't have to get to 100% before you launch. And remember this, if you wait to get to 100% before you launch, you failed. You can use the 70% rule. You prepare and you think you are getting there and you track progress and you feel like this is like 70% progress. You can actually start. You don't have to be ready before you start. Number 3, he says, pick one skill and go deep. This is another problem. People feel like there is a lot of opportunities and so they need to do a lot of learning or do a lot of generalization in order to get a job or to be better at it. But that is always the problem. Pick one and learn. So you find someone learning Python, learning marketing, learning like several stuff at the same time because they want to get a job, and so they do whatever it takes to get a job. But that really does not work. Pick one and master it. I can give you a clue or an idea of how to go about it. Maybe tell yourself, I will dedicate 2 hours every day mastering the skill. So you can go to your calendar if you are an Android user or you have a calendar on your mobile phone. I should put something on your calendar and say 2 hours, maybe from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am doing this. Do that for 2 weeks. Pick a course, study it, or pick a skill, master it. And within that 2 weeks period, if you feel like you're not making progress, that is not for you. Dump it, move on to the next thing. But the whole point is make an attempt to master one skill or one thing before you move on to other things. Don't try to generalize everything. That's my little advice for you. The next one, he says, reduce noise, increase output. The mobile phone in your hand right now, the screen you're watching on right now, if it becomes a distraction, get rid of it and go out there and be productive. What do I mean? You are always on YouTube watching productivity videos. How do I become productive? How do I get this done? But you never actually pick or take action. A typical example to the software engineers or the upcoming software engineers. You'll be in bed watching a tutorial how to code, but you never pick your laptop to code along. That is noise. So he says, reduce the noise and increase the output. Why don't you pick your laptop and code along? Why don't you pick your pen and paper and jot the notes? Why don't you go out there and take an action? The next one, he says, track progress weekly. A wise man once told me that the faintest pen is sharper than the fastest brain, which I found to be very true. So get a note somewhere, track your progress. If in the course of a week, you're able to achieve 10%, take note of that. 20%, take note of that. If you try to put everything in your brain, it gets to a point you lose focus or you lose it. And so you're unable to tell exactly how you're progressing. So track progress weekly. Next one, he says, learn how value is paid for. This is very, very important. A lot of people miss this point. People feel like, yeah, I have the job, and so at the end of the month, you have to pay me. There should be a value you're providing for you to get paid. So if you're in a company or you're working for someone and your salary is stagnant and you're not making any progress, ask yourself, am I adding value to this company? Or this particular venture, am I adding value to it? Example, you're a software engineer, you've written code, but your product or the code is not bringing any revenue. That is not value. Yes, you worked hard, but that is not value. So look at how you're going to add value to the work that you're doing. Hard work alone is not enough. The next one, he says, ask for feedback early. This ties into mentorship. What you're doing, others have done it. Find someone to guide you. And whatever you're doing, ask for feedback early. Am I doing this right? How should I go about this? Do you think I did this right? Ask for feedback early. Don't wait till the middle of the year, then you find someone and Charlie, I was trying to do something, but it's like I'm lost. At that point, you've already lost 6 months already. So ask for feedback early. The next one, he says, build something in public. Why are you trying to hide what you're building? You think you're failing? That is what you're supposed to post. Let people know, I started, I failed at this, how can I get help? So you can go on LinkedIn. This is what I'm working on for this week. At the end of the week, you can come back, or the next update, you can come back and say, I started this and I got into this error. Anyone to help me? You would be marveled at the number of people you get to assist you with that. What it also presents you is exposure. People know that you are working on something like this. If there's an opportunity, it is never going to elude you. So build something in public. Don't hide in your room. What you're building is not worth it. It's actually worth it. The failure is needed, the success is needed, and the progress is needed. You need that public accountability to help you get the opportunities you're looking for. The next one, he says, improve communication intentionally. Yep, you have the skill, you have the ideas, you have the talent, but you are not able to communicate to stakeholders properly. You have a business idea, but how do you communicate to your potential investor that I have this idea and so I want you to invest in it? So what do? You need to be intentional about how you communicate. You can pick up courses, you can read articles on how to communicate effectively. The next one, he says, choose consistency over intensity. I remember back then when we started software engineering or we started coding, we could go 3 days continuous without break. Then after the 3rd day, we come back and we're like, yeah, we did it. Then in the end, we feel burnt out and we feel like we don't want to talk to anybody. So you see a lot of people in the software engineering field, they're always in their hideouts and they feel like I'm an introvert. No, they're actually burnt out. So it's not about you staying behind your PC 24/7. It's about being consistent. If it's 20 minutes a day, make sure you're consistent with it. If it's 5 minutes you can do, make sure it's 5 minutes and you do it well, consistently. It's not about how long you do it, but being consistent is very, very important. The next one, he says, say no often. Learning how to say no is you telling yourself yes to the things that I have planned. Because you have a schedule, like we talked previously, you're going to actually block parts of your calendar to take on specific courses. Then during this period, someone asks you, can we hang out? Can we do that? Learn to say no. And in that case, you're actually building yourself, trying to achieve something for yourself. Saying no actually is not a bad thing. Learn to say no. The next one, he says, take uncomfortable action regularly. You're always doing the things you're good at. That does not depict growth. If what you're doing does not scare you, that is not growth. Do the uncomfortable things in 2026. Go out there, take on actions, take on uncomfortable actions, and do it regularly. Let it scare you. You come back and testify. And the last one, he says, save this. Yes are non-refundable. It is 2026, and you really want to make the most out of this year. Take actionable steps, plan steps, and make efforts to succeed. If you liked this video, kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that whenever we post, you get to see it first. Thank you and see you in the next video.